Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lead, Sell, Grow the Human Experience podcast. Hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Eric Konovalov, and what a pleasure it is to be with you. This is going to be another solo show. I've done the last few solo, and I got a lot of good feedback. So, you know what? I'm going to continue to do more solo shows because I think as I work with entrepreneurs and I'm getting more coaching clients nowadays, I'm going to share with you what's working, what's not working, with the hopes of helping you grow your business. That's kind of what I want to do. So today I'm going to talk to you guys, and I want to talk to you about knowing your self-worth because it seems like I've been speaking with a bunch of entrepreneurs lately. And I'm not saying I'm speaking with a bunch of entrepreneurs lately, right? This comes from a couple of weeks ago. I was in Jupiter and I got a chance to coach some entrepreneurs in the skills of sales for Paul Martinelli's sales training program. I ran a I ran a 2-day sales training program for veteran entrepreneurs, like military veterans who are entrepreneurs. And I have a few new coaching clients right now that we're getting to know each other a little bit better. And so when I say I've been talking to some entrepreneurs, I'm saying probably over the last 3 weeks, I've had a chance to speak with, if I had to guess, hmm, let's call it 150, around 150 entrepreneurs, through group settings, through one-on-one, but that's where this data is coming from. This isn't one of those everyone always asks me type of things. So I know how those can come off. And the reason why I'm going to be looking down, if you're watching the video, is because I actually took my time and wrote out my thoughts, unlike I usually do when I'm recording these shows. So today I'm going to give you 5 ways, 5 quick tips to get over your self-limiting beliefs. And why don't we kick it off? I think you're going to enjoy this episode. And once again, thanks for being here. So speaking with a bunch of entrepreneurs, and their recurring theme is their BS. Okay. So what do I mean by BS? I don't mean BS like you think BS. I mean BS like belief system. It's their belief system that really holds them back, and it comes in many forms. So I'll share with you. So for me, for the first 5 years of the Goal Guide, that's my company. Oops, right here, the Goal Guide. I started back in late 2014, 2015. And when I started it for the first 5 years, it was kind of my side gig. Not kind of. See, I mean, even the words I'm using now, it was a side gig because I had a full-time job. I was a director of sales for a technology company. My job was to train, develop, hire salespeople. I'd go on meetings with them. I'd help them close deals, all that stuff, running one-on-ones, sales meetings. That's what I did. And I had my own company, which was called The Goal Guide. That was a side hustle. Now, part of a big part of what I do is coach entrepreneurs. And what was happening, I noticed, is when entrepreneurs came to me for coaching, I would sabotage those deals. Because deep down inside, I didn't believe that I was worthy enough, right? Like, how can I possibly coach an entrepreneur who is 100% all in on their business, and I'm not 100% all in on my business, right? I'm the goal guide, yet I have this full-time job. And I would just sabotage this stuff. I over and over again, I would find ways to, they'd say, give me a proposal, and I just wouldn't, right? Or if I gave them a proposal, it'd be so high and outrageous that I knew they'd say no. Looking back at it now, it seems kind of silly, but that's exactly what I would do. And it was so subconscious. On one hand, I would want the business. On the other hand, it's sabotaging it. Um, you know, I realize it's because it's impossible to outperform our self-image, that belief system. Back in I want to say 50s or 60s, Dr. Maxwell Maltz wrote a famous book. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. Highly recommend you read this book. And Dr. Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and what he would do is help people with their, physical, whatever they didn't like about themselves physically. So a woman might come in and say, my nose is too big and I look terrible and I want to fix the nose. And he'd fix her nose, make her look even more beautiful the way she wanted to. but she would still see herself as not attractive with a big nose. And it made him realize that we all have this internal belief or internal image of ourselves, our self-image, that no matter what we change on the outside, as long as we don't change that on the inside, our circumstances won't change. So it's impossible to outperform that self-image if you think that you can't, you can't. And if you think that you're capable of, you'll probably try to, right? So that's the difference. So just a couple of weeks ago, actually, met with a new coaching client. She's a nurse, started her own business. Okay. This is a great story. Um, and she wanted to get more sales. So she's been in business for about a year. She wants to get more people through the door. And what was happening was that, it kind of dried up a little bit. So we're sitting down and said, it'd be a good idea for you to just call everyone who was there at your ribbon cutting ceremony, everyone who was there at the opening, right? Because the place had a big buzz locally and a lot of people came through the door. I said, why don't you give them the call? Maybe come up with some kind of a special something that, will bring people back in the door, or just a personal invitation. People love those. So that was my recommendation. And here we are, like 3 or 4 weeks later, 3 or 4 sessions later. And each session I kept asking, hey, how did the calls go? And what happened was she would have an excuse for not making the calls every single time. Oh, I didn't make it. I got really busy. I had to do this. So finally this week, finally last session, we're sitting down chatting. She said, I really need to get more people in the door. I said, well, let me ask you something. I said, what do you believe about selling? Right? What do you think is holding you back from picking up the phone and making a call? And I'll ask you too, right? While you're on the phone, like picture this: you get home from work, right? You get home from work. Maybe you have kids. 6:30, 7 p.m. You got the dinner on the table. You sit down. Ring. The phone rings, and it's an 888 number. You look down at the phone, and you don't want to answer it. But what happens? You answer it, and the person on the other line says, "Hey, so and so. My name's Eric with ABC Company. How are you doing this evening?" What goes through your mind? Well, when I asked her this, her whole demeanor changed. You should have seen the disgust in her look. And she said, I would just hang up right away. I wouldn't even answer it. I said, why is that? She said, well, they're always so pushy. Like salespeople are really pushy. I said, what else do you think about selling? She said, well, I know I'm not good at it. I said, okay, how come? She said, well, I'm shy. I'm not a good speaker. I said, okay, stop. And you guys see where I'm going with this, right? If she believes she's not a good speaker, if she believes that selling is bothering people, that it's pushy, why would she ever sell? And it answered everything for us. The task is simple, right? Her task is very simple. Just pick up the phone, call some people who have already been there, who've paid you money, invite them back in, make it personal. And that belief of, well, I'm pushy, I'm a bad speaker, they're going to laugh at me, whatever, the embarrassment held her back. And the fact is, she'll never make the call. She will never make the call as long as it's her belief. So I'm going to share 5 ways to transform your beliefs. And I'm looking down on my notes right now. The first one is really, Carl Jung actually said it, right? If you don't make the unconscious conscious, it'll control your life, and you would call it fate. So number 1 is identify your beliefs. Make them conscious. Why do you believe what you believe? What is it that you believe? Right? And how do you know how to do that? Well, you look at your results. So back in, I don't know, 20s or 30s, there was a chiropractor who came up with this model. It's the stickman figure. And if you take a look at any of old Bob Proctor stuff or Paul Martinelli stuff, they all teach it. So this isn't something that's brand new. And if you picture like a circle, that's what they use to represent the mind of a person. And then they kind of split that circle in half horizontally. And on top of, top half is your conscious mind, the bottom half is your subconscious mind. And so in the subconscious mind is where our beliefs lie, right? Not like lie to, but that's where they're stored. And if I could show you a better representation or a different representation, imagine a computer, right? The subconscious mind is the software that's running it in the background. So for example, if you had a Microsoft Word document, the only way to open up the Microsoft Word or Excel or any other Microsoft product is if you had Microsoft Office installed. If the computer doesn't have that program installed, it could never open the document for you to see it. Same with PDF, same with whatever other file types, right? So we have to have the programming set up in a computer before you could see the file. And the same thing goes for the subconscious mind and our beliefs. We have to have the belief installed in order for us to get a matching output. And so if you really don't know what program's running in the background, just look at your belief. For example, if you want to make $1 million, which I do, and I have not made $1 million a year yet, the question is, what do I believe about me being a millionaire? Right? What are my beliefs? See, I grew up dirt poor. I mean, we came to America from the former USSR back in 1990. And it was 6 of us living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Me, my sister, 2 stepsisters. We literally, you would walk into our bedroom and there's 4 twin beds, just back to back to back. I had literally had to hop over my sisters to get out of the room because as soon as you open the door, your knee hits the bed. That was our room. That's how we slept. And we were the luckiest kids in the world to have a room with a bed. My parents had their own room, and then there was a living room, right? That's how we slept. So growing up like that, seeing my mom struggle, seeing my stepfather struggle, what are my beliefs about money? Not that good. People like us, can we ever be rich? I mean, can immigrants be rich? I don't know. But as a young kid seeing that, what do you think the beliefs that were formed? And that's what happened. So we have to really identify what our beliefs are first. And one way to do that is simply by looking at the results we're getting. If the result you're getting is not the result you want, what most people do typically is they change the action, right? So let's look at weight, for example. If you come from an Italian family, chances are you believe that food brings family together, right? It's a social thing. It feels good to get around with family and eat and drink wine and just have a good time, right? Like Italians bond over food. And so let's say if you're an Italian who happens to be overweight, what's going to happen is you'll try to change your actions, right? So we're going to wake up earlier, we're going to get on diets, we're going to exercise, and we're going to try not to eat as much. And that'll last for about 60 days, maybe. And then what happens? Well, the belief kicks in, right? As soon as we're at a party, as soon as we're with family, we bond through food. I believe that I have to bond through food, and the belief kicks in, and so we change the actions and the results change, right? We no longer are losing weight, we're gaining weight. Happens like that with everything. So we really, I mean, number one step is identifying our beliefs. Just last week, I may have shared this with you guys, but this was so funny. I was walking out to go to the gym, and I put on a shirt, and I see the armpits are like crusty. I mean, it's been washed, it's a clean shirt, but the armpits are crusty. I looked at like 3 or 4 other shirts, and those armpits are crusty. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the hell am I doing? And the belief is because I grew up getting hand-me-downs, like I would wear my sister's clothes, right? I started believing like you don't buy brand new clothes, especially for the gym. We don't buy brand new clothes to go into the gym. So for decades, it's not that I can't afford a 15, 20, even $30 shirt for the gym, right? But for decades, I would go buy shirts that are, shirts to go out in. Then they turn into like a home shirt. Then it turned into a gym shirt. Then they get tossed in the trash. So that shirt had a life cycle. It's all because I didn't feel like I was worthy of buying new shirts right for the gym. What a silly belief. And everything happens that way. So that's number one. Identify your belief. If you don't know how to identify it, see the results you're getting. If the results are not matching that which you want, take a step back and ask yourself, what do I believe about this? All right, number two. Once you've identified your beliefs, you got to take them to court. You got to play freaking Matlock and Judge Judy or whoever your favorite court personality is. Take that freaking belief and take it to court. Okay. My belief when I started, the Goal Guide was my side hustle was how can I coach entrepreneurs ethically, right? Ethically, how can I coach them? People who are 100% all in on their business, and I'm not 100% all in on my business. That was my belief. True, not true, doesn't matter. That's what I believe to be true. How can I possibly coach somebody if I'm not fully an entrepreneur yet? How can I help them grow their business if I haven't gotten my business to that point? That's what I believe. So I really had to take that thing to court. Okay, what are the facts and what's the truth here? Well, the facts are that my coaching company is actually a side hustle at the time. Okay, what's the truth? Well, during my full-time job, all I do is coach and train commissioned sales professionals. And the entrepreneurs that are coming to me need help growing their business in the field of selling. They need to know how to have the right script, how to attract customers, how to get new meetings, how to take them through a proposal, how to close the deal. That's what they need. And that's what I did at my job. Yet the belief was because I'm not 100% an entrepreneur, I can't help those people. Nothing could have been further from the truth. Even the results I was getting were super far from that belief, right? Because everybody I worked with, I helped them. These entrepreneurs, they were, one guy had a nutrition store, right? One of my clients had a nutrition store back then. He didn't know how to market himself. He didn't know how to talk to clients, how to get them to buy, how to get them to close deals, because his job before he decided to open up a nutrition store had nothing to do with selling anything. He was a government contractor. Just decided he was into fitness. He wanted to do that. Missing that one piece. The woman I'm working with now, right? Amazing nurse, starts a whole new business. She's never been sold. She's never been trained on selling, that art of selling. And so we got to take these beliefs to court. Like what's really stopping you? What do you believe that's just not serving your greater good? There's literally no point. It does not help you to believe that, right? So this brings me to number 3, change the label. So sales, is it good or bad? You ask 10 people, you're going to get 10 different answers, right? But whether you believe it's good or whether you believe it's bad, it's going to affect you differently. If you look at selling as helping somebody solve a problem, because that's all selling is. You're helping somebody solve a problem if you're doing it correctly. And so one of the things I did with my new client last week is I said, do you believe in your product? She said, yeah. I said, tell me about it. Why? What's so good about it? And she went on for like 5 minutes telling me why people should use this product, why people should use her service. I'm like, so it's going to help them feel better. It's going to give them more energy. It's going to help them boom, 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 boom. Do you still think you're selling, or do you think that you're helping them? See, it's your duty, if you truly believe in that, to go and educate people on the possibilities if they use your product. It's your duty. Otherwise, you're going to be the greatest hidden secret. Do not be the greatest hidden secret. Makes no sense, right? And so same product, same service, same sales process. I'm saying reframe how you think about it, right? Selling is just selling. If you think it's bad, you're not going to do it. If you label it good, chances are you're probably going to do it. But it's not good or bad. It's really, what are you trying to do here? What we're trying to do is help solve a problem. Because nothing happens until a sale is made. Nothing. You can't help anybody if you don't sell them something, whether it's an idea, whether it's motivating them to take a step into a certain direction, whether it's buying your product or service. That's the first step of helping somebody. So change how you're looking at it, and it's going to help. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, focus on what serves us and give zero energy to thoughts that don't. What I realize is that most of the time we would not call somebody half the names we call ourselves. We beat ourselves up so freaking bad. We beat ourselves so freaking bad. I'm not good with names. You ever said that? I'm not a good speaker. I suck at remembering things. Oh, I would just freak out if I had to speak in public. I can't sell anything to anybody. I could never fill in the blank. I'm not good at fill in the blank. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? There's an author, his name is Shad Helmstetter. As a matter of fact, I interviewed him on my show a while back. It's probably been over a year. And God, it's embarrassing. I don't remember the name of his book, but no, I do. It's what to say when you talk to yourself. And he makes this point to say that everything we say, we're programming our mind. So the second you say, I'm not good at blank, boom, you're creating your beliefs. Remember, we can't outperform our beliefs, right? But you can create new beliefs. When we speak negatively about ourselves, what beliefs are we creating? Positive ones or negative ones? Chances are we're creating negative self-beliefs. We're creating a self-image of ourselves that we do not want. So why do we do that? Focusing on one side is not going to help us. Focusing on the other side, whether it's true or not true for you yet, may help you, right? So instead of I suck at sales, I can learn sales. I need to learn selling. I need to figure out how to sell. See, I suck at sales makes a statement. It's definitive that you suck at sales, that I suck at sales. I need to learn sales opens up so many doors, because the next question is, where do I start? And if you need to learn sales, start right here. Give me a call. I'll help you out. All right, number 5. This one's tough for a ton of people. It was super tough for me. Number 5 is be willing to suck. Just be willing to suck at first. And here's why. I'll tell you, when I was starting this podcast, it took me over 4 years. If you took a look at my 2016 New Year's resolutions, it was start a podcast. 17, start a podcast. 18, start a podcast. 19, start a podcast. I wanted to start a podcast so bad. But what was holding me back, I think the main thing that was holding me back was I'm going to suck. I don't know how to interview people. I don't know the technology. I'm going to mess this up. People are going to laugh at me, whatever. All these thoughts that came to mind. And I got to tell you guys, the good thing about starting a podcast or starting a YouTube channel or anything is that for at least the first 50 episodes, no one's listening to your shit anyway. So you can suck all you want. But it's just a natural process. I mean, think about when you first started to drive a car, right? When you first started to drive a car, I don't know if you had a stick shift or an automatic, but the hands were on the wheel at 9 and 3. You adjusted the mirror. You have to remember, okay, gas, brake. First we put it in drive, we check the mirror, and we're driving 9 and 3, and we're paying attention. And when we're coming into a place that we don't know, we turn the radio down so that we turn the radio down so that we can pay better attention to what's going on. Fast forward 2-3 months, you're going through a drive-through at McDonald's, eating a burger, doing your makeup, and driving while you're talking on the phone, all at the same time, listening to music. Right? So what happened? At first, you had to suck. And I gave a point about driving, but I mean, every single one of us, right, did that as babies. We had to do it to walk. We had to suck at walking, riding a bike, learning how to read, C-A-T, cat, cat, D-O-G, dog, right? Everything is a process. And same goes for entrepreneurship. But why do we not allow ourselves to get bad at it, to be bad at it at first? If you reframe that, like if you change the way you look at your relationship with being bad at something, to, hey, this is just a step. Like if I was baking a success pie, the first ingredient would be failing and sucking. Like you got to throw that in there. You have to. You can't bake the pie without it. And so if you look at it that way, like, oh yeah, this is just step one. Step one is I got to suck. But before you actually, step one is taking action, right? Step one, I got to take action. Why? To suck so that I can get good faster. I just got to get through the suck part quickly, because every single thing that I do, there's a suck part to it. The problem with most entrepreneurs is that they're not willing to suck long enough at something to get good. And I'm asking you to not do that. I'm asking you to let it go. Have fun. The world needs what you have. You got an idea for somebody. You got an idea for something. You're offering a service that chances are they're going to help a lot of people. They have the potential to help a lot of people. But you have to go through the suck phase to get good at it. You just gotta do it. All right, my entrepreneur friends, if you're not in the Facebook group yet, get in there. By the way, I'm going to be starting another group. This will be paid, working on the pricing, but it's going to be for entrepreneurs. We're going to talk to you about selling. We're going to talk to you about leadership. We're going to talk to you about getting through these self-limiting beliefs so that you can break free from your shackles. It's in a starting kind of phases right now. It's going to be a paid membership, but the paid membership for the first 50 people is going to be under $40 a month. So nothing that, that's not affordable, but the value is going to be tremendous. I'm excited to promote it probably in the next few weeks. And I wish you the best week ahead. If you're not in the Facebook group, Lead, Sell, Grow, the Human Experience Tribe, get in there. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Leave a comment, hit the like button, share it with your friends if you like what you see. I super appreciate you, my friends, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.